All right, take two. All right, I'm hoping that the rendering shows up really well in the video, but maybe not. So basically, I'm showing imagery. This is from the Hyperion mission that went up. I think it was one of two cameras on the EO-1, Earth Observation 1 satellite. So to my understanding, it was a temporary thing, but they took a lot of hyperspectral data. It's on the USGS Earth Explorer website. So basically, I went there, found it's taking the satellite and taking basically like a row where it flew by a certain area and captured a little bit, and then so I can look at that, looking at every single band as a layer within this, like, so 240 layers stacked on each other, each one with a slightly different color. Just so you can kind of look at different nuances of the bands. I can change the height of it. So I can say, okay, let's look at the lower bands. And eventually my goal is to be able to say, all right, let's pick out these couple bands and say, I want to look at the spectrum. Or let me press a button to highlight the spectrum that I'm already looking out for and see, does that stand out compared to the rest of it, or is it, just or not, whatever. So here's another way of looking at it. This is basically an overhead. A satellite flew over and kind of took this area, and there's like a lake in the middle. I think there's a city down at the bottom of the lake. But basically, if I teleport close enough, I have this clipping plane on the front of my camera, and that will cut off certain images as I look at them. So as I get closer, the idea is that it doesn't let two objects get too close to like occlude my vision, but I can use that just as a little hack to say, let me look at like each different layer kind of going through, and then you can notice there aren't a ton of changes right here. Okay, so over here on the left, you can kind of see a few changes where it's brighter in the lower bandwidths, and then there's like an object there that just gets dimmer as you zoom into the higher bands. So yeah, basically, and then on the side of it, it shows like the full amount of color in that one layer of the spectrum. So I can zoom in, and I can kind of do that for this entire thing. Sorry for the lagginess. I think I have too many images in here. I have 250 roughly for each of these satellite things, and these are really high definition images. They're GeoTIFF files, so basically I'm pulling in like 1,250, I guess, because I have 5 of these. Took one that was grabbed from the Bahamas, one from Panama, one from Madison, Wisconsin, one over New York City, and then I forget where the other is, just some random river. But yeah, I can basically go through, look at this. Some of it doesn't show up well, I think, because if it doesn't have a signal, then it just looks at the intensity and assumes the nearest round number, which I'm using just 0 and 1 to represent the values, so it's probably just rounding it to 1. But it's kind of interesting. I feel like for certain data sets, it'd be really valuable to look through the data like this. And you're kind of wondering, like, why is this really practical? I mean, I don't know yet. I'm just kind of playing around with it as an approach to looking at the data differently. I see a lot of examples of hypercubes, and I feel like it's a concept that people have thought about a bunch. Now the technology is there to build it, so how can we explore this new technology? How can we hopefully find a business case for it? Although I just kind of wanted to avoid just looking for business cases and seeing like what just what does it look like, and how is this way that we could foresee ourselves using to actually like do real research. Let's just play around with it and kind of think with the actual thing here, so we can you know, get some new ideas or something. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm noticing some things here that are kind of interesting. I'm really curious what those columns are kind of marking there. Maybe it's just a bright spot. Who knows? Maybe it's a disease, you know? Okay, anyways. That's about it right now. Sorry for the lagginess. Hopefully it's not too laggy. That's it.